Hey guys, it's Levi here, and this is video number 3, and we're going to go from having your hosting set up, which you have figured out in video 2, and now we are going to install WordPress from your host, and we're going to make your WordPress site look pretty. So let's dive right in. Now that you have your host, log into your hosting portal, whichever host you decided to go with. The one that I'm going to show you is just a cheap host. I'm not using Bluehost for this one because I wanted to give you something that might be a little bit different looking than Bluehost or some of the other big names, okay? Because it can be slightly confusing on some of these, and what I'm going to show you is this is as confusing as it gets, and it's really not that confusing. So what I want you to do right away is log into your host and kind of follow along with me, okay? So what we need to do right away is find out where your cPanel is located, okay? On this one, I just kind of looked around a little bit. You just have to do a little bit of searching, and oops, that is not it. You just have to do a little bit of searching, and you'll run into it. So, like here it is. It says log into cPanel, and it's going to bring you to a screen that looks like this. cPanel is pretty much unanimously the same on every platform, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Hopefully your hosting provider set you up with SSL security certificate. If they didn't, make sure you get one of those. Okay, if you do have one, you should see something within the security that says something like SSL Wizard, which allows you to set it up yourself. And you can check the status of your, and that's the SSL Wizard, and you can check the status of your SSL right here as well. Okay, it's just a metric that Google ranks your website by. Not a ton, but enough that it's noticeable as far as ranking your content. And that's because Google wants anybody who's searching the web obviously to be safe wherever they're going. Nobody wants, Trojans on their computer or whatever. Now let's get back to getting WordPress installed. If your host is cool, they should have something called Softaculous app installer, and within that you will see WordPress. I really like Softaculous, that's a mouthful, because it makes it really easy to install. So all you're going to do is click on that, go to install now, and then you're going to fill out the information. This is all pretty straightforward stuff. If you do have SSL, this should pop up HTTPS. Okay. If you don't have an SSL certificate, it'll be HTTP. Okay. So just make sure that you get that taken care of right away, and that can be done through your host. Just send them an email and let them know that you want a SSL certificate. It's really cheap. After that, you'll fill out your site name. Okay, I'm really excited about this website domain that I recently picked up called zombiefans.com because I'm a huge zombie fan. And as far as affiliate application goes, it's a lot. I'll be able to do pretty much anything with clothing and anything that has a picture of a zombie on it. I mean, it's awesome. And that goes right back to affiliating with, within industries and niches that you actually enjoy. So this one is pretty cool for me. Scroll down a little bit further and you'll fill out your site name here, your site description, and don't worry too much about that because you'll be able to edit all of this within WordPress. Okay. This is very important though. Make sure whatever you set your admin username and password to, that you write it down somewhere. Like me specifically, I actually have a Excel sheet that has all of my websites listed in it with all of the hosting information, passwords, links, everything to keep track of all of it, because once you start scaling like I have, and I have close to 30 niche websites running, it is a lot to remember. So make sure you write it all down so you can kind of keep a handle on that. I will usually set this as well, limit login attempts, just another added security precaution. And then this is kind of cool because you can actually select a theme right away to install. You don't have to do that because I'm going to actually show you in WordPress where you can install a theme yourself. Okay. After that, just click install, and it's going to give you your login details. Okay. you'll come to a page that looks like this. All right. And then what we'll do is we will click on administrative URL. That's going to be your login. And now you're in. Now your website it's going to be very bare, but it's up and running. So at this point, you should be able to just basically go to an incognito page like this, and you can type it in, and it's up and running now. So now you know. All right. So with that said, we will go into the dashboard. Okay, and this is what WordPress looks like. This is it, and it's a lot simpler than a lot of people think. I think I've done like everything. I've done not all, but I've done a lot of the build it yourself website programs like Squarespace and a couple other ones. And this is a lot easier, quite honestly. And if you aren't comfortable with setting these things up yourself, I will be talking more about having virtual assistants do it for you, which I've pretty much I have them take over all of this stuff at this point. Like, I don't create any of my own websites anymore. They pretty much do it all themselves. So what you're going to do is go into appearance and themes. Okay. And this is where you'll actually be able to set your theme. So whatever you want it to look like, yeah, that's what you're going to be able to do. And once you pick your theme, which is going to be any of these, or you can go to add new, and you can kind of look at some different options. Okay, like you'll have the option to search for like different premium themes that cost anywhere from like $30 to a couple $100, and they're pretty ridiculously nice. But usually I don't do that. I think like my main websites, I have premium themes on them. Once you decide on your theme, go to customize, and this is where you'll actually be able to start making your website look pretty. All right. So right here where it says site identity, that's where you're going to be able to enter your site name right here, which is going to be this, and your tagline, as well as selecting your icon. Okay. And then you're going to have a whole bunch of different options depending on the theme. You'll have a lot of different options. And I won't go too deeply into all of this stuff. If you are interested in learning more about that, I do have another course on all about WordPress setup. It's a free course on leadcreep.com. That's my website. That you might have found this video on it. It should be in there too. So the WordPress course is on the main page. You'll see a book that's kind of scrolling across the banner that says WordPress Success, and that's the free course that I have. So you can dive into that, and it'll teach you a lot more of the ins and outs of setting up the WordPress, and a lot more of the functionality stuff of it. So that's pretty much it. Now at this point, your site should be up and running, and this is where it can kind of get fun too, because you can play with the website and play with the themes and play with some of the options and make it look exactly how you want. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And I won't go a lot deeper than that. I think that's enough information for now. The next lesson that is coming up after this, I believe, is silo structuring your website. And this is where it starts to get fun, because this is getting into now how we're going to start driving traffic to your website. So I hope to see you guys in the next video, and stick with this. Setting this all up is a little time consuming, I know, but it's worth it in the long run. Once it starts generating money for you, it's just kind of hands-free cash at that point. So hang in there, stick with it, and believe in the process.